Okay, GYOK blocked. GYOK blocked. Massive GYOK. Hairy GYOK. Big, veiny, pulsating GYOK. I'm all out of knob gags. Good morning, 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 Gooniverse. How are we all this morning? Just fine. Thursday morning, Thursday, the 2nd of April, and it is a bank holiday tomorrow. Guys, it is bank holiday weekend in the UK. If you're listening from around the world, you might be thinking, what the hell is Eddie going on about this morning? Well, it is a huge weekend for us here in the UK. We have Friday, tomorrow off, then we have Saturday, Sunday off, and we have Monday off. Why? Because something happened years ago that enables us to eat chocolate for a whole weekend. That's right. It is Easter weekend. And of course, what we celebrate here in the UK is loads of chocolate eggs, normally of poor quality, eating loads of them to the point where we feel sick. And I, sir, madam, cannot wait. That means that tomorrow we got the day off, which I should stress for those of you that are joining us on a regular, and we love you for doing so. Tomorrow we will be starting the show at 9 a.m. It is a bank holiday weekend. Tomorrow's a bank holiday. So for Friday and Monday, we're starting the show at 9 a.m. Why do you ask? Well, it's so I can get some fucking sleep. No, not just that. Not just that. Because I have other commitments during the work week, and tomorrow I don't. And it means that tomorrow's show will be a bumper edition. More Arsenal, if there's any news. It's been a slow news week, hasn't it? Let's be honest. More Arsenal, more Gooner stuff, more everything, more chance for you to come and join us. If you're up and about around 8:30 and you think, you know, I've had my brekkie, I've had my morning shit, I've got not much to do. I want to talk about Arsenal. Come and join us, the Big Arsenal Breakfast Show. We will be live tomorrow at 9 a.m. and Saturday and Sunday and Monday. And then we will go back to 7 a.m. on Tuesday. Right, before I get into today's show, I must, as ever, ask you to lizzle and subscrizzle. Please, if you would be so inclined, if you could just hit the like, hit the subscribe. As I say every day, it helps us reach more Gooners. It helps us get out there. It helps the algorithm get us out there. It's not just us sat here going, oh, wouldn't it be great if we had loads of subscribers and we could just be like, hey, man, we're so bloody cool. No, we need you to help us, if you would be so kind. Just get out to the Gooniverse, the Arsenal world, so that we can create, or we can have more of you in this Arsenal safe space to come and talk to us about what's on your mind about the Arsenal every day. Every day we're doing this, and we want you in the chat. We want you in the comments. We want you wherever you are to just put in your thoughts on the Arsenal. And you can do so at Big Arse Breakfast on TikTok. You can do so at Big Arse Brekkie on Instagram, at Big Arse Brekkie on X, at Big Arse Breakfast on Instagram, at we're on Blue Sky as well. Basically, the two to remember are at Big Arse Breakfast is for Insta and TikTok, and at Big Arse Brekkie is for X. And if you're watching us on YouTube, you know where we are. So that's all good. You can also email us if you like, show@bigarsenalbreakfast.com, show@bigarsenalbreakfast.com. I always forget that every day, but you can have that as well if you'd like to email. And we are on Blue Sky, but I've got to be honest with you, I say this every day, I don't know what's going on with Blue Sky. There's not much going on. I don't know what's going on at TikTok either, because we are still in TikTok jail for posting. We are not allowed to post at the moment. We're hoping that runs out soon. We don't know why. But if you're looking at us on TikTok and being like, this guy used to post quite a lot of good stuff, or he used to post a lot of stuff, then you can now know that we can't post at the moment because we've broken some guidelines. I don't know what done. As I said, too darn spicy, too darn hot, putting out those big takes. And the AI at TikTok's like, you can't be doing that. You can't be doing that. You got to post videos about cats and work life and weird stuff where people cut themselves out and put backgrounds in the background and be like, hello, my name is Bob. So yeah, currently TikTok's not going so well, but you can still comment there. You can see our videos. You can still get involved. You can still follow us. And then when we're out of jail, maybe we'll curtail some of our footage a little bit. Some of our clips just go, hey, we're a bit more TikTok friendly. Will we? Will we fudge? Right. What's on today's show? GYOKERES. GYOKERES, understanding, is getting a lot of heat. He's getting a lot of press. He's getting a lot of chat. And I think it's a good time to talk about where we maximize GYOKERES going forward. So we'll come to that. We're also talking about time to try Myles. Shall we try Myles? But before we do, there is some links going around transfer-wise about Christian Kafana. Kafana? Yeah, Kafana. Christian Kafana. I got that right the first time. Christian Kafana. There's some links going around. A lot of stuff on Twitter linked to the 19-year-old at Leverkusen who did impress in that game. Let's be honest. He did run Saliba and Gabriel a little bit ragged at times. I was impressed by him. Apparently Arsenal were interested in him. I don't know the validity of these rumours. I'm not in the know. I will happily admit that. But what's his face in Germany? Plettigal? Look, the reason why I haven't put it in the show, that's what I want to say. I haven't put it in the show because I feel like we're a little bit early for transfer rumours, right? We're a little bit early for transfer rumours. If this has legs, it will still be going in a few weeks' time. It will still be going at the end of the season. So my take on this, for what it's worth, if anyone's interested, is seeing the rumours, they're getting retweeted by others, pretending that it's their news. And we're just kind of wait to see if this one develops any legs. But what do you think? Do you think it's got legs? I mean, it would sort of fit the profile of trying to find a young striker. Wouldn't be surprised if Arteta was impressed with him. He was a muscular guy. Then lastly, I'm not going to feature this in the show. I am not going to feature this in the show. Done this to death last week. But Ben White and Henry Winter. Now, this is nearly 2 days ago now. And I only saw it late yesterday. How Henry Winter had put in his piece, like, it's time to ditch Ben White. And look, he's so divisive. If the crowd don't like him, words to that effect. I'm paraphrasing, obviously, but words to that effect is like, if he's so divisive, it's just not good. If he gets boos. And all I wanted to say on that is, as I said last week, that is your fault, Henry Winter. That is your fault, not his. You guys had an opportunity to tell what really happened. You didn't. You drove off a story. And now England fans are booing him. What I would say, if anyone's in any doubt as to whether it's the media that have caused that hubbub, it would be interesting to see over the next few weeks when Ben White plays in the Premier League or in the FA Cup, if he starts getting booed now, where he hasn't for the last few years, that will tell you everything you need to know about them, how that media narrative has taken hold. That'll tell you everything. People start booing him now, when they haven't for years, you will now know what kind of sway that England press pack has about a section of public opinion. And all I would say on that is, watch this space. Right. Let's get into Big GYOK. Let us get into Big GYOK, shall we? So, oh, I've put the slide up so early. I've put my lovely slide up so early. Whoopsies. So there he is, Big GYOK. Yeah, look. So there's a lot of talk about this. How do we get this working? How do we get Big GYOK firing on all cylinders? Now, one of the things that I put out yesterday was a poll, and we'll come to that in a moment. Is it an Arsenal thing? Is it a Big GYOK thing? What can we agree on, right? What can we agree on? I think it's obvious that Arteta, he's kind of worked with a kind of target man striker over the years, sort of. What we do know is that he favors extreme control. He likes suffocating possession. He likes heavy rotations. He likes to slow the game down to keep us around the final third, to wait for that perfect opening. And GYOKERES really thrives in the chaos, right? He likes transitions. He likes attacking space. At Sporting, he feasted on turning defenders and running at them from deep. But at Arsenal, he's often playing with his back to goal against low blocks. And because of that, for someone who's got such a low pass completion rate, which we'll come to some stats in a minute, he's got such a low pass completion rate, that moving the ball around, shifting it around, playing with your back to goal, trying to link up play is not his strength. If he gives the ball away, because let's face it, that is his weakness, That is the absolute cardinal sin for an Arteta team. So we've got this player who doesn't like playing with his back to goal. His pass completion isn't great. And he's playing in a system that needs that to be good. On the flip side of that, there is also, of course, he posted ridiculous numbers when he was in Sporting. Whether that was going to translate to the Premier League, we kind of know now. We kind of know that. Maybe it doesn't. But if he's not winning his duels, which his dual win rate is about 32.5%, that's not very good either. He's not going to be able to compete in the Premier League. But as I said, if we're playing to him in a way with his back to goal, to feet, and asking him to link up and all that sort of stuff, it's not going to work. He's also had a massive drop-off in service. At Sporting, he was a high-volume shooter. He took, last season, 101 shots in the league alone. At Arsenal, he's taken just 43. Just 43. There's a lot of stats going around about how many games he's played in where he hasn't had a single shot. He hasn't had a single shot. That is not good. But his conversion rate is good. It's roughly on average, depending on which stat website you go to, it sort of averages out at around 25% conversion rate from the 43 shots that he's taken, right? Because he scored about 11 goals in the Premier League, right? So his conversion rate's good, which really says, get him the ball. Get him the ball and let him shoot. Get him the ball and let him shoot. It's almost like Arteta is trying to convert, I don't know, a monster truck into a Tesla. That's a terrible analogy. Could have come up with something better than that. But I don't think it's the player that's broken. I think it's the fit that's off. And look, Arsenal are already rumoured to be looking at other strikers in Julian Alvarez and Nico Trizoldi. And it obviously shows that the board think that this is not Arteta's man. But what did you think you were buying in the first place? So it begs the question, right? I think I need to put up this slide, the slide that I gave away early on. There's his stats there. Have a little feast on that while I carry on with my musings. So it really begs the question, what are his strengths, right? What do we need to do? We need to abandon the idea that he's a copy of Kai Havertz or even Jesus when he was playing that there. Those guys are more like facilitators, right? They love to drop deep, they link play, they vacate the central box. GYOKERES is a completely different beast. If you want to unlock the player who scored 50 goals in Portugal and drag Sweden to the World Cup, we need to pivot, I think, direct. We've got to be direct and we've got to be vertical. We've got to feed the left channel. Sporting and at Arsenal, you see him, he loves running into that left-hand channel. He loves to drift out into the inside left, receive the ball on the half turn and drive directly at defenders using his raw pace and his physical power, which I know isn't always there. His pace is not always there, but I remember him outstripping Gabriel and Saliba when we played them in the Champions League a couple of seasons ago. So he can do it. Get him into the channel. So he's not anchored centrally. So he's not wrestling up with low block centre-backs. And basically allow him to drift left, right? Pull the players out of position. It means that others can get involved in central areas as well. So, you know, if it's Martin Odegaard crashing the box, Bukayo Saka coming in from the wing, which he likes to do, we need to shift that block outside. Up the tempo. We've got to up the tempo. I know Arteta demands extreme control, which naturally slows down the tempo of the match. But GYOKERES really thrives on fast, chaotic, and transitional moments of play. Get the ball vertical, be braver, play it early. Otherwise, he's going to be stuck trying to win the ball back in areas that he can't do it. He can't do it. When we win those balls in the midfield, get it around the corner. Get it into space for him to stretch his legs. Trying to get him to execute intricate 15 pass maneuvers. Again, it's not his thing. It's not his thing. What he does do well, though, he uses his gravity. So when he stays high up against the defense to pin those defenders back, that does allow us to get further up the pitch better, but not quicker. And really, he just needs to create chaos on early balls. Get to the byline, cut them back. First time shots. I've been saying this all week. He needs the shots. He needs the shots. Like a teenage boy at a student union. 2 for the price of 1. We need those shots. And that's just my opinion, really. That's my opinion. That's what I looked into. I mean, look at the stats on screen there. He scored 39 goals in 33 games in the Portuguese league. 54 in total. He had 101 shots during that period to 43 at Arsenal. I know the league is tougher. Of course it is. The league is way harder, way tougher. But we are still not playing to his strengths. Early balls, vertical passes, move it quicker, get him playing into space. If he has to go into the left channel, let him go into the left channel. Martinelli can vacate the space and go central, whatever it is. But look at how he played for Sweden. Look at how he plays for Sweden. I mean, he's an absolute saviour. Clutch goal against Poland, hat-trick against Ukraine. I mean, I know the standards slightly different. GYOKERES is a good player. He's a good striker. Traditional. No thrills, but he's a good traditional striker. Get him the ball early. Come on, let's do it. We did a little poll. So this is the poll from yesterday. With GYOKERES flying on the international stage. Read that again. So this is the poll from yesterday. With GYOKERES flying on the international stage, do his inconsistent performances lie with him or the team? 100% of you voted the team. 100%. I will caveat this with, I'm not sure that it reached thousands of gooners, but it was enough to take a few votes, and all of you said it's the team. So there we go. Just a little something there, isn't it? Something to think about. Right, let's move on to MLS. Let's move on to MLS. There's been a lot of talk about getting MLS into the side. Look, we know he's an inverted left back, right? But at Hale End, played central. Everyone knows this. This is not, oh, great insight, Eddie. Duh, where'd you learn that from? All right, we know he played central. We think he can play central, right? This is what we think. That's how he played his trade. Like we are at the business end of the season, right? We've got a lot of physical fatigue. I think if we put him where he belongs, he will have the legs. One of his absolute superpowers is being press resistant and ball carrying, right? Sometimes we look a bit too predictable and safe. Myles Lewis-Skelly's greatest strength is picking the ball up and, again, on the half turn, driving right through midfields. We've seen it. All those clips doing around on Twitter. You've all seen them. We've all seen them. Those clips are his best. I mean, it's easy to clip up highlights of someone looking amazing. Of course it is. But we know he has that in him to do that, and he's brave. And I think with the fatigue of the rest of the players, whether it be resting the Rices and so on, which we will come to, I think it's his balance and his ability to carry the ball that we're missing, especially under extreme pressure. I think we've got to start working him in here and there. We need a bit more progressive ball carry. He can do that. It is his superpower. What we want to see really is him coming into this run-in. He's got to play against Southampton. He's got to play in the midfield against Southampton. I know he was due to do it against, was it Wigan? And then Calafiori got injured, and then he had to revert back to left back. So we know Arteta's been thinking about this. We know he's been wanting to try it in the so-called lower stakes games, right? We know he's been trying to do that. So I think Southampton's the perfect opportunity. He looked good in the week. I know it's England 21, so he looked good. Ethan looked good as well. They linked up to score a goal. It was very lovely. So I think we've got to see it, right? I think we have to see this now. He's got energy. He's willing to go. Okay, he might be a bit rusty because he hasn't played, right? That's not his fault, is it? But we got to see Myles. We have to see him for the run-in. I think he's got something to offer. What do you think? Let us know in the comments. Let us know in the comments. Right. Rattled through that. Let's get on to big ass opinions. Apart from the two penalties you gave away, what's the stuff
Shesh will never live down. Secure school for life, mate. Way too dry.
Yeah. Okay, let's do this. So a lot of you have been getting in contact via Instagram and some YouTube as well. So a couple of posts I put out, some people commented. I thought this was quite interesting. On the Gabby Agbon Lahore joining the 180 crew, Rockin' Robin said, Japan friendly versus title running. Exactly. Hoyt 96 said, Gabby needs to shh. He needs to hush. He needs to hush. Kenny Cab 1954 said, as far as I recall, Agbon Lahore wasn't good enough to play for England. Sick burn, Kenny. Absolutely true as well. Look, the whole thing, look, it's not so much we want this to be a massive attack on the guy, but if you're going to come out and say really stupid things when you're in a position of complete hypocrisy, expect people to give you some grief, right? If you're going to be egregious yourself, if you're going to say incendiary comments, and expect people to come back at you, which is actually what they want. So if anything, we're just doing TalkSport a favor here, aren't we? Matthew Banks put, maybe Gabby should have said that himself. He was talking about how he said he'd regretted it. I think Matthew might have missed the entire clip where he basically said he regretted it. But it's besides the point, isn't it? It's beside the point that he said he regretted it. The fact is he did it and then was trying to speak on authority for someone who went on holiday during a tournament, not Mr. Friendly, went on holiday during an England tournament with his girlfriend. And then later on in life, he goes, well, I regret it, so I can comment on it. No, mate, you're a hypocrite. He said, Matthew Banks said, maybe you should have said that instead of trying to clickbait and rage baiting Arsenal fans. What comes around goes around. Hence this video, talking about my video. The bloke's a fool and desperately trying to hang on to what he believes is a career on TalkSport. Ooh, Matthew Banks coming in with the sick burns. Coming in with the sick burns. On the post that I put out about GYOKERES yesterday, man like CR said, battering ram. Battering ram. I'd like to see a ram raid from Jock, I have to say. That's what I want to see. I'm with you, man like CR. And then Rockin' Robin, he's going to feature twice on today's show. He said, we score from corners, but in open play, we're so central when we should be utilising the wings. Not sure why we don't have Madueke on the right and Saka in the middle, 10 more. Madueke gets to the byline, Saka cuts inside. And then he asks whether we have a podcast or not. Yes, we do. We do have a podcast. I forgot to mention it. After this show, it will be uploaded. We have a podcast. It'll be out. It's normally out by about 8 o'clock. So if you're seeing bits of this and you want to listen to the podcast is there. It's on Apple, Spotify. Thank you, Rockin' Robin. And I agree with that. What's the point? He said we need to be utilising the wings. Yeah, absolutely we do. I spoke about the other week about maybe having Gabby on the left and Saka on the right and doing normal wing play and getting crosses in, low crosses in, byline crosses. Get to the byline, cut back for Jock. I don't know. I just want to see something different. I want to see Jock do well. And I think we're just not playing to his strengths. Just think we're not playing to his strengths and then we can do better. Right. Leo Da Silva said on Twitter, Leo Da Silva said, Arsenal midfielders and wingers, please pass the ball to Viktor GYOKERES so we can have the league wrapped up by the end of this month. Oh, wouldn't that be nice, Leo? Wouldn't that be nice? Oh God, please let's wrap it up by the end of this month. Can we wrap it up by Wednesday? Then we're not even playing. Stress, man. Stress. Thank you, Leo. SG. Why is that all out of shape? I can't see it on my own screen here. One sec, sorry. He said, what GYOKERES done in the last 2 games can't be underplayed. What kind of mentality? That kind of mentality can't be manufactured. You either got it or you don't. I'm going to read that again because I absolutely butchered it. SG said, what GYOKERES done in the last 2 games can't be underplayed. What kind of mentality? Fucked it up again. Let's try this a third time, guys. Oh, 7 a.m. starts, man. What GYOKERES done in last 2 games can't be underplayed. That kind of mentality can't be manufactured. You either got it or you don't. And I agree, SG. I think he's got it. And I don't. GYOKERES has got it. GYOKERES has got it. He doesn't get phased. I mean, even during his low moments, he's still giving it, trying, believing. Come on, feed the Jock. Talked about this earlier in the show. Feed the Jock. We got to get him hitting hard, big heavy Wunderschmackers. I don't know if that's a word. It's not a word. Thank you, SG. The false nine. The falsch nine. About Myles Lewis-Skelly, he said, I wouldn't worry about Myles. Don't forget he was due to start in the midfield against Wigan. That's where I got it from. Then Ricky was injured in the warm-up and he had to shift over. Then was suspended for Mansfield. He'll get his shot in midfield versus Southampton. He's been unlucky, but we are due his rediscovery. Oh, false nine. Die falsche nine. I hope that's true. I really, really hope that's true. I'd love to see him against Southampton. I think he's ready to go. He's got his juju back in playing for England midweek, I think. Fingers crossed. Great point. He was also responding to Rory Talks Football, who was saying that we simply have to keep him and move him into midfield. Yeah, we're going to come to that at the end of the season, aren't we? I think there's going to be some very upset Arsenal fans, and I understand why. Okay. Big Arse Opinions. Instant Karma. Take of the day. Instant Karma Take of the day comes from Lively. So much noise in the media about Arsenal this past week, and yet at least 10 Arsenal players represented their countries this international break. Martinelli, Madueke, Hincapié, Calafiori, Lewis-Skelly, Dalman, GYOKERES, Norgard, Raya, Havertz, Mosquera. Just in case you were in doubt. Yeah. Look, when it's Arsenal, it's big, right? What can we extract from Arsenal to create a news story that we can just keep traffic coming our way is what those people are doing. The medias, the TalkSports, the Henry Winters, all that sort of stuff. Because we big. When you big, you big. And that was it. I mean, that's basically, we've had players go away. And the ones that were released, not pulled out, they were released from international duty by agreement with their federations, because that's what has to happen. Normally following a medical assessment, they were released, not pulled out. They came to agreement with their federations that it was better to not risk further damage than it was to risk the damage and potentially miss not only their Prem games or their domestic leagues, but mostly the World Cups. These federations wanted them to be fit. Loads of players done it. Not an Arsenal thing. Make it an Arsenal thing if you want. Get the traffic up. I understand it. Not an Arsenal thing. Thank you, Lively. Very lively opinion indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, that's kind of it for today. That is it. Thank you for joining us. I don't know what you're doing on this bank holiday weekend. I hope you have an absolutely smashing one. Should be good, right? Should be good. 4 days off. If you're in the UK, what are you going to do? Let us know in the comments. You know what? If this show today, if you're looking, right, if you're watching this show today, you're like, that show was not good value for money. It's free. But if you watch the show today and you're like, that show was really crap, but you still want to comment, but you don't think that I've produced anything good enough for you to comment on here, right? It's like the Arsenal content was crap. Just let us know what you're doing this bank holiday weekend. Are you out in the kitchen? Got some washing to do? You're doing some spring cleaning? You sit on your ass drinking beer all day. Anyway, we are going to start gearing up towards the Southampton game. Probably tomorrow. I think we'll have a look at that. We'll start tomorrow, I think. But in the meantime, we will say to you, enjoy your Thursday. Hopefully you're not working in retail. We have to work on the bank holidays. But enjoy your Thursday. Enjoy your weekend. We will be back here tomorrow at 9 a.m. 9 a.m. tomorrow for a bumper edition, a bank holiday bumper edition, big Arsenal breakfast show. How much alliteration is that? Join us tomorrow at 9 a.m. Get your ass in gear.